Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It is Sarah right here on Relax Radio, and I'm super excited to be here because I will keep you company all the way until 9 a.m., right? Which means, we're going to be sharing a lot of thoughts, we're going to be sharing a lot of information with you, and please don't be shy to go ahead and share your thoughts and opinions with me as well, all right? Because I would love to hear what you have to say, I would love to hear what you're talking about as well, and I want to know what you're thinking with regard to, some of these absolutely irresponsible or irrational things that our ministers have been doing here in the United Kingdom. And these are ministers like our or rather, our foreign secretary, who has been under pressure the past few days to actually resign because of inaction, essentially, right? That is what we're talking about, right? But let's also talk a little bit about what role the United Kingdom actually plays in helping Afghanistan and why we have a role to play in helping Afghanistan as well. All right. Now, that is what the conversation is going to be about. But please don't be shy to share your thoughts and opinions with me. All you need to do is just text me or call me on 078 Share your thoughts, share your opinions, because I would love to hear what you have to say. All right. And also, while we're at it, I want to very quickly, remind you that you can go like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And essentially make sure that you're always informed and updated about the very latest. And you're always informed and updated about everything that we talk about by following our socials. And don't forget to go download our app either, because that would be absolutely amazing. And that would essentially mean that you get to share your thoughts, share your opinions, but also listen into the conversation when it's happening from wherever you are in the world. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So don't forget to do that. And now let's actually head into our conversation about what role the United Kingdom plays in helping Afghanistan. All right. Now, the truth is this: we have an embassy in Afghanistan, and we've done a lot of work in Afghanistan as well, right? And the truth is that there are people who work for the United Kingdom, Afghans who work for the United Kingdom, like translators, and I feel like, in my opinion, we have a duty towards them to essentially protect them and to make sure they're okay if they are in danger, right? And that's exactly what it has been. They have been in danger. And even though they have been in danger, we haven't really helped them as a nation in that way, right? And obviously, let's not forget about the scholarships, the cheapening scholarships, actually, that were given to some of these Afghan students, which Boris Johnson was like, oh, you know what? Your country's in peril. So, you know what? Maybe we'll postpone on those scholarships, right? Which is what he said. And come on, that's not the most insensitive thing you could say to someone, right? They worked hard for that scholarship. They got that scholarship because they're smart enough, and obviously because they deserve to get that scholarship, right? And then Boris Johnson was just like, oh, you know what, your country is compromised, so because of that, we should probably, postpone on that scholarship. But that's not fair, because that scholarship was their hard work, and they deserve to be there. They deserve to have that scholarship, and they actually deserve to, be in the place that they are right now. And that is why, some of these decisions that we've made in the past few days with regard to Afghanistan, with regard to Afghans who are coming to the United Kingdom, have in fact been very irrational and also been very insensitive, right? And that's why Dominic Raab has actually been asked to quit, because he was on holiday and he was like, guess what? I have to enjoy myself, because I'm probably the only one who suffered so much during the pandemic. So maybe I'll just enjoy myself and just let someone else take the calls and do my job for me. All right, which led to so many people not being able to come to the United Kingdom, especially now that in Afghanistan, in the airport, there is in fact a crisis, right? The Taliban is not really preventing it's not preventing a lot of people to leave the airport. And especially even though the airport is controlled by the US military, the paths or the roads to actually come to the airport is controlled by the Taliban. So life has definitely become much harder for a lot of British citizens, British nationals, people from Afghanistan, Afghan civilians who've helped Britain. It's very hard for them, right? And that's why Dominic Raab has come under pressure. And something else that we need to talk about is in terms of refugees. Now, here in the United Kingdom, we're planning to get about 20,000 refugees, right? Which means that these refugees need to be distributed fairly across all of England. However, the highest refugee concentration is actually in the highest refugee concentration is actually in northern England, right? And all of the leaders from northern England have said, look, you know what, we're welcoming Afghan refugees, look, we're completely fine with that, but we need other regions also to understand that they have an equal part to play in this crisis. They have an equal responsibility to house these refugees, and therefore they need to make sure that that happens, because otherwise the refugee burden is just going to fall on the northern parts of England, right? And why that's a problem is simply because of the fact that when you have a majority, or rather, when you have a refugee concentration in northern England, they already are considered one of the most deprived parts of England, right? And obviously, in terms of private housing, in terms of healthcare, in terms of school places, those are all questions that we have right now. Now, just to get back into this conversation, we're going to head into a small break, because after that, we will be back to discuss all of this. So until then, make sure that you stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio. And I'm super, super excited to be here. But we're talking about Afghanistan, but also while we're at it, I want to, focus a little bit on the very latest that's happening in the United Kingdom, which is with regard to, booster jabs. Do all UK adults actually need booster jabs? Now, that is a question that is currently there, all right? So don't worry, because I will debunk all of these myths, and also I will help answer all of your questions, your uncertainties, your doubts. I will help you out with that, all right? All you need to do is just text me or call me on 078 Share your thoughts, share your opinions, and I will definitely let you know what I think about those. Or, if you have any questions, I will answer them as well, all right? And don't forget to follow us on our socials, and don't forget to download our app either, which is available on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. And that way you can actually make sure that you are always updated and listening in, right? But now let's actually get back into this conversation about the COVID booster jabs, right? Do a lot of is it necessary? Are these booster shots necessary? What information do we have about it, and what changes do we actually need to make with regard to all of these booster jabs, right? Now, many rich countries are in fact considering offering people an additional coronavirus vaccine dose, right? Now, the UK is going ahead with that. The Biden administration, just a few days back, actually, they said, look, we're going to go ahead with the booster jab campaign, and we're going to make sure that people get booster jabs. But the thing is it really essential? Do we actually need these booster jabs, right? Now, what Sir Andrew Pollard has basically said is that unless you have immunodeficiencies and unless you have immunosuppression, you don't really need the booster jab, all right? You actually don't. And the truth is, let's be quite honest, right? We have countries like the United Kingdom, we have countries like the United States, we have countries like Canada that are very rich, that can afford to hold up doses and doses of the vaccine, and that aren't really going through the worst stage of the pandemic. And the truth is, it's simply because of the fact that a lot of these people have money to make sure that their population is vaccinated multiple times over. And the truth is, there are so many other parts of this world, poorer developing countries that actually need these vaccines, right? So why not give these vaccines to them, right? Especially because there isn't any clear evidence with regard to whether we actually need booster vaccines or not. If people have been fully vaccinated, they at least have some level of protection in comparison to the people who have absolutely no protection, right? Which is what the problem seems to be. So obviously, in instances like that, it's important for us to keep those people in mind and make sure that those people get vaccinated as well, because if not, it's very insensitive, and it's also very inhuman, because those countries are still living in the worst stages of the pandemic. So why not, why not share the vaccines you have with them, right? But obviously that's not what we want to do, because that's just how selfish we are, all right? Now make sure you stay tuned, because I will be back in a few minutes to discuss all of this. But obviously, we will be talking about something else. We're going to be talking about, is immunity from COVID jabs enough to actually protect yourself from the Delta variant? and whether exactly, all UK adults actually need booster jabs. All right. So make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to let me know what your thoughts and opinions are, because I would love to hear it. But right now, I'm going to end this because I'm going to be back in a few minutes to discuss